everyone, this is Nompumelelo Myeni. I am Coach Nompumelelo from NM Coaching Firm. Welcome to NM Coaching Firm's YouTube channel. We are happy to have you. I hope that you have subscribed to our channel and you have also hit the notification button to make sure that you don't miss any of our videos. We are still running the self-mastery series and we have gotten as far as episode number 5, and that is what we are doing today. And I hope that you haven't missed any of the episodes, and if you have, please go back to our history, go search, and you will see where we actually started by explaining what is self-mastery as a whole. We are happy to have you here. If it's the first time here, once again, don't forget, subscribe, hit the notification bell to make sure that you don't miss any of our episodes. So today we're going on to one of the most interesting topics in life in general. I just feel like every time you speak relationships, everybody's ears go up. If we were animals, we would actually see the ears that go up, because we want to hear exactly what is it that you're talking about when it comes to relationships. But for this purpose of self-mastery, we're going to talk about mastering how you relationship. Okay, so we're not going to talk about umjolo this and that. No, that is not where we're going. We're going the direction of how do you relationship. Have you ever asked yourself that question? How do I relationship? Would I be in a relationship with me? When I'm speaking relationships at NM Coaching, we really speak holistic relationships, which means we're talking of relationships that you have with your family, with your friends, with your co-workers, with your business partners, your neighbor, a number of people that you could actually be relationshiping with. And the question that I have for you today is, how do you relationship? Maybe you can even take it as your homework. Take it to say, how do I relationship? And you start noting it down. I'm this person in the relationship. This is what I like to see in a relationship. This is the things that I like to see happen in a relationship. Now, it's very easy for relationship to be termed romantic, even if you didn't say it. I'll keep reminding you in this episode that I'm speaking of relationship in a holistic sense of relationshiping. It is important to note, I'm just going to say a few important things that are really, really important to note. It is important to note that nobody owes you a relationship. Okay, a bit of silence there. Yep, it's true. No one owes you a relationship. So, because I am your sibling, therefore I owe you a relationship? No. Every relationship is built. Every relationship is maintained. Every relationship is nurtured. Every relationship is secured. Every relationship is affirmed. Every relationship is anchored. So nobody really owes you to simply just like you or like having you around or like doing things for you just willy-nilly any other time. It is really important to understand that in as much as another person is in a relationship with you, you are also in a relationship with them, which means this relationship has to find common ground, and there are things that needs to happen that benefit both parties in a relationship, be it a parent to child relationship or a teacher to child relationship or a friend-to-friend relationship. All those relationships requires everything that I've mentioned that relationships require. And in order to make them blossom, in order to make them fruitful, in order to make them meaningful, we are really to know and understand why or how do we relationship as individuals? Now, why did I bring this up during a self-mastery series? It's because when you haven't mastered how you relationship, you tend to have expectations of relationships that are unrealistic, that have not been thought of, or that are selfish, that also self-serve you only. It is so important that in mastering who you are, in self-mastery, you also understand the critical nature or the critical aspect of mastering how you relationship with people. What do you bring to the table is the question that most people ask. And I think, my question is always, really, what are you giving? What are you getting in a relationship? And that is very, very important to understand, because no relationship exists from a point of just getting, and no relationship exists from a point of just giving. We are always either giving or getting. It could be more as per need of the other. It could be less as per need of the other. But the whole point is that relationship needs to have a mutual running of things, of how things are happening between two people. As you are mastering yourself, it is important to take note of who is in your life. That's part of mastering your relationships, and it's part of mastering how you relationship. Who is in your life and why are they there? So, taking stock, who's in my life really? On a daily basis, who is it that my day cannot go on without? And why are they there? What is it that keeps them there? Is it because of what they're getting from me? Is it because of what I'm giving to them? But what is it really that keeps those people there? So you take stock. Who's in my life? Why are they in my life? It's so important, because I think so many of us go through life and relationships that have happened perhaps maybe organically, and we turn to neglect them and not put that much effort onto them because they are sibling relationships. So yeah, he's my brother, is supposed to like me. He's my sister, is supposed to like me. And relationship really take effort from two people on ensuring that we make the relationship work, whoever it is. Parent to child relationship take effort. They're not organic. Just because I gave birth to you, you need to love me, you need to respect me. No, it is worked on, it is built, it is nurtured, it is affirmed, just as I have been saying. So when you are in relationships and working through understanding your role in those relationships, it assists you to master how you relate. Knowing my role, for instance, I'm making an example, to my sons, I know that I'm a mother. Therefore, I'm not going to try and force any other kind of a relationship between us, because that relationship needs to be a parental, motherly relationship. So it needs to be anchored on the parental roots. It needs to be affirmed on the motherly aspect of things. I need to be a sure presence. I need to work at it from a point of view of being a parent and ensuring that the parent relationship or the parent part of our relationship is never ever lost. I know that in this day and age, many parents believe that you need to be your child's best friend, you need to be your child friend and all of that. But I will always advocate and always advise for the fact that no matter how friendly you are, because there's a difference between being somebody's friend and being friendly with the person. So I often advocate for the fact that no matter how friendly you are with your children, never lose the aspect of parenting your child, of being the parent in as far as your child is concerned. But that is a topic for another day. Today we are on mastering relationships as a whole. Now, in relationships, it's important to always have an internal view first before you have an external view. You know what is it that you need. because you are the one with the vision, you are the one with the dream of where you want to take your life going forward. So you know what is it that you need, the kind of support, the kind of mentoring, the kind of coaching, the kind of, spiritual leadership that you need to ensure that it can propel you towards achieving those goals and that dream that you have for yourself. That is why then it is so important that before you even question how other people relationship, you question yourself, because it's possible that you are relationshiping from a point of need. And there are many examples of that we can make in terms of some people might get into romantic relationship based on need, and those, in those relationships you can tell that they're unhealthy because the need needs to always be addressed in order for the relationship to exist, and a lot of compromising that goes along with it. So it is so important to self-master and then go out there and make yourself available to relationship. And also it is important to observe, how do you relationship? Perhaps you are a demanding person in a relationship, so sometimes people will tell you, but if you haven't observed yourself, you are unable to actually really correct the measure. So you need to be, really correct the error. So you need to be able to be a kind of person that introspects in relationship when you are relationshiping, to make sure that you can actually see that these are my weaknesses in relationships. My family is struggling with this with me when it comes to relationship with me. My friends are struggling with this with me when it comes to relationshiping with me. And romantic relationship struggles with this with me when it comes to doing that relationship with me. This is what my colleagues actually suffer with when they are trying to relationship with me. And when you identify those things, then you are able to put corrective measures. You don't just go about saying no. You know how other people always assume that the rest of the world is wrong and they are correct, how the rest of the world is just not doing it right and they are doing it correct. Most of the time those people need to do a lot of sitting down and introspecting and looking at themselves to say, really, what is it that sets me apart? What are people really struggling with when it comes to me? That thing will give you a real true picture. It's so much better to hear criticism from yourself than to hear criticism from somebody else. When somebody else criticizes us, we often go to the defense mode and feel like we need to fight for ourselves to stand. That is why it is so important to be able to sit yourself down and say, what are people struggling with, And then you can see, okay, my temper, I need to work on my temper. My aggressiveness, I need to work on my aggressiveness. There's a lot of things that you can actually come out with to say, these are the difficult things that people are dealing with me when it comes to relationshiping with me. And then you can start putting corrective measures. How do I ensure that I'm easier to relationship with? How do I make sure that I'm an easy kid, that I'm an easy parent, that I'm an easy brother or sister, that I'm an easier cousin? All kinds of relationships that we have requires a particular part of us to be easier to relate with other people. I've read a quote one day, I think it's been circulating on social media, and the quote was saying, be kind to everyone. You don't know who's dealing with what on what particular day. And it kind of hit the fact that we really always relationship based on ourselves, based on how do we feel, based on what is it gaining, what is it giving me, and what am I gaining from it. But the most important thing really that I feel when you are self-mastering, when you are working to master yourself, is to also master how you relationship, so that when you're putting yourself out there, who is it that you are putting you out there? Obviously, it's true. Different parts of our lives require a different part of us. We don't totally bring all of us everywhere. Imagine bringing your parent self to a workplace. Now you want to mother everybody. That is going to be difficult. Imagine bringing your pastor self everywhere, and now you're trying to sermonize everything. That will literally be difficult to do. So it is important to identify within the pockets of your relationships what is required, so that you meet the requirements all the time, and you don't sort of run yourself over in spilling all over different parts of yourself, and you find your friends complaining that the issue that we've got with you is that you're always trying to mother us. It is so very important to understand how you relationship. It's a big part of self-mastery. How do I relationship? So after watching this episode, you might just want to take a pen and paper and ask yourself these questions. How do I relationship? If I was to really look at myself based on the people that I'm in relationships with, what would I identify as their struggles with me? What would I identify as their benefits with me? And going further from that, how can I improve the way that I relationship? I hope this episode has been impactful, and please don't forget, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any other episode from NM Coaching Firm. See you next time.